That can't be right. Oh, but what if they're real after all? No, that can't be. But what if there's a chance?
Greetings, miss. Is there something that's bothering you?
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm Della Roche, the representative of the Fontaine Fishing Association. How can I help you? Oh, so you're adventurers. Oh, finally. Someone has heard my prayers.
Paimon could tell you were really bothered by something. Don't worry, you've got 2 super experienced adventurers right here. We'll take care of anything and everything for you as long as you pay us a little bit of mora.
Oh, you are exactly the helpers I need. See, the problem is that the fish around a fishing spot at Irenaeus have just all up and vanished recently. They disappeared too quickly for it to have been the work of human anglers. As the representative of the Fishing Association, I had planned to go and investigate the area right away. Right, but unfortunately, as the representative of the Fishing Association, there are a few other errands that I absolutely have to run. So
you'd like us to investigate the spot for you?
Exactly. You're right on the Mora. So I thought I could delegate this work to you. Are you two some kind of prophets, knowing exactly what I was going to say like that? Or maybe like the oracles you read about in fairy tales?
Yeah, we're just really experienced in this kind of thing, that's all.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'll get a good night's sleep knowing the two of you are on the case.
But don't we just need to investigate the missing fish? It really doesn't sound too difficult.
No, you mustn't let your guard down. As the representative of the Fishing Association, I have good reason to believe that the fish have gone missing due to an encounter with the water imps.
Yes, you're both Outlanders, right? Our local fairy tales often speak of a terrifying underwater creature called Felxie.
The story our parents would tell us was always the same. If we went to the water alone, then we'd be snatched away and eaten by a water imp called Felxie.
A child-eating water imp? Did they tell you what it looked like?
My father would always describe it as a beautiful, multicolored snake woman, while my mother said it had a handsome face. It's really strange, though, because you'd also hear other people describe it as just a chubby penguin with a deceptive appearance. Even though the tales vary regarding its appearance, everyone agrees that it's really dangerous. It lives in an underwater cave surrounded by pallid bones and uses its sensitive nose to track down lonely children who've lost their way. And once it finds a child, it uses its alluring singing voice to lure them into the water before swallowing them all. Pretty terrifying, isn't it?
Sounds kinda scary. But isn't that pretty normal for a fairy tale? After all, those kinds of stories are usually made up to help keep children away from danger.
But what if the fairy tale was inspired by a real-life tale, just like how a water vein always has a source?
Well, I wouldn't call it evidence per se, but I've heard some rumors lately. They say that someone recently saw a child walk into the water as if he was possessed by something. Doesn't that sound just like he was responding to the call of a water imp?
So you mean someone really got eaten by a water imp?
It's all hearsay, so it's hard to confirm. But still, they all say this happened on Irenaeus. That's no laughing matter if you ask me. Both the Opera House and the Fountain of Lucine were built there, and the sources of many water veins can be traced to the island as well. Combine that with the mysterious mist, the huge tree with expansive underground roots, and the rumor that the fish sheps on the island can understand human language.
Is it really so shocking that an island so shrouded in mystery could harbor a terrifying water imp as well?
Why does Paimon feel like you're pulling our leg? You're just piling on the rumors now. Still, if someone's really been hurt, then we can't just ignore the situation, right, Traveler?
Oh, marvelous. Then I'll just mark the stretch of water on your map. Don't forget that no matter what, safety always comes first.
This the stretch of water Delaroche was talking about? It looks really peaceful. Huh? Look, there are some footprints over there. These look pretty fresh. Did the water imp get someone again? Let's look around and see if we can find anything else. Wait! Did you hear something just now?
Paimon? Traveler?
It's Fremine.
I'm sorry. I forgot I was still wearing this.
Fremine!
You got scared, Palmer.
Paimon, are you okay?
Paimon nearly mistook you for a water imp. Thank goodness it was just you wearing your helmet.
Huh? A water imp? Thelxie, you say? How surprising.
Huh? You know that name too? Or do you know someone else who's trying to investigate the water imp?
No, I think our situations are probably unrelated. Sure, if that's in order. I know the name because of one of my employers. She noticed the clockwork penguins I brought to the workshop and contacted me through the shop's owner. She has commissioned me to make a special toy. Following her request, I've named the toy Thelxie.
Huh? But isn't it a little creepy to name a toy after a water imp? Wait, hold on! Fremine, you never take commissions from other people!
Yeah, but, she made a special request, but out of respect for her privacy, I can't really talk about it. It's alright though. She'll be coming over to check on my progress shortly, and I'll just tell her that you're two of my trustworthy companions. Hearing that, she might be willing to share some information, and you'll be able to continue with your investigation.
Huh. Even though you seem a little cold and reserved sometimes, you're still really considerate. Our target isn't necessarily the water imp, though. We're primarily here to investigate the disappearance of the fish.
The fish? I think I may have connected the dots. These past few weeks, I've been taking Thelxie for underwater testing every day. The pressure testing makes a lot of noise. So, all that about the disappearing fish? Well, it was probably because of me.
So that's all it was? That actually makes a lot of sense. Wait, so could that mean the child we heard about who walked into the water was also...
Yes, I think that's quite likely as well.
Whew. So in the end, it was just Fremine! Paimon spent all this time imagining what a water imp from the fairy tales might look like, and it all turns out to be just a hoax.
I'm sorry. It sounds like I've created a lot of trouble for everyone else as well. I'll try to finish this commission as soon as possible. Once I'm done, the fish should come back. Thank you.
Actually, how much work do you still have left, Fremine? Maybe we could lend you a hand.
Thanks for offering. But I can't trouble you any more than I already have.
Hey, it's no trouble at all. Didn't you just call us your trustworthy companions? Companions are all about helping each other, you know?
But don't you need to report back to your commissioner?
Nope, that's not how it works. See, Paimon's got these commissioner types all figured out, even though we were just tasked with finding out why the fish had gone missing. If we tell them now that it was all just a misunderstanding, you can bet they'd just immediately hand us another commission to help them get the fish back.
But lucky facts, though.
Exactly! So if we can help you finish up your work and get the fish back, that would save us an extra trip!
Is that what you'd like to do as well?
Yeah, I think Palmer's right.
Huh. Alright, I'll trust your judgment. Please follow me. I've made a makeshift camp over there. I've stored Thelxie in the tent. He can respond to some simple verbal commands. You can try calling his name and see if he'll come over.
Whoa, sounds pretty advanced. Let Paimon give it a try. Hey, Thelxie, are you there? So that's Fermine's version of Thelxie. It's also penguin-shaped, just like Pear.
Yep. Had Thelxie lived in Penguin Town, he'd probably have become great friends with Pear.
Aww.
It's not really anywhere famous or important. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Thelxie, nice to meet you. Do you know how to say hello?
I wanted to install a language output module, but due to time constraints, I had to give up on the idea. As it stands, Thelxie can only output messages that were pre-written into its motherboard. I haven't given him the ability to convert those messages into discernible words, so he can't really talk to us just yet.
No need to get so technical. So basically, you want us to help you complete and install this language module, right?
No, there's no need. That wasn't one of my employer's requests. It was just something I wanted to try. I have two other things I'd like your help with. The first is to do some integration testing on Thelxie's motherboard, to make sure he will be able to function properly in most situations.
That doesn't sound too hard. And what's the other thing?
The other shouldn't take too long either. You'll need to find Thelxie some colorful shells and coral, so I can craft a weapon for him.
A weapon? Will Thelxie have to fight?
Thelxie will need to be able to charge forward with a weapon in hand, like that brave prince of legend. It's a part of my employer's request.
What an imaginative employer! Naming Thelxie after a water imp, but wanting him to look like a prince?
Well, regardless of his role or species, Thelxie's purpose is the same. Just like Pear, he has come to this world to serve as somebody's companion.
So freaking cute.
Whoa, Thelxie just said something again! Could he understand what we were just talking about?
He can react to certain key words, but unfortunately, due to the lack of a translation module, he still can't quite communicate with us.
That's a pity. But anyway, the most important thing right now is for us to get to work. Maybe let's start by doing some testing on the motherboard. That sounds like something we can do here in the camp.
Sounds good. The motherboard is on my workbench, so please follow me. Ah, here we go. I have this testing manual, so feel free to reference it if you get stuck. Want to give it a try? It's okay if you don't succeed immediately. I've got a lot of backup boards just in case. Okay. Knowing you, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out.
Oh, dear Fermine. Oh, wait. Stop it. There we go.
Boring! Isn't there anything else more interesting to do? Ah.
You're doing well. Just as I expected.
I've taken on a lot of similar tasks before, you know.
Then let's move on to the underwater part. It's just as I mentioned earlier. We're after colorful shells and coral. Oh, speaking of which, you're both already pretty used to Fontaine's underwater environment, right? Okay, that's good. Just let me know if you ever feel uncomfortable. I'll make sure to stay right by your side. should be right over there. We'll be able to find something that'll help us with our search. This is it. We call this thing an echoing conch. It can detect special reflection waves in the water to help us with all kinds of underwater exploration and excavation efforts. Here, try it. Did you notice any interesting places? The echoing conch should have detected some just now. Let's go check them out. These should be enough. Let's head back to camp. Thank you for staying out here with me all this time.
Fremine, you're back. I thought you might have been out diving.
I'm sorry, Madame d'Estray. I must have kept you waiting. I can report, though, that the construction of Thelxie is going quite smoothly.
There's no rush. I'm your employer, not your supervisor. And these two are...
They're two of my trustworthy companions. They're here to help me work on Thelxie.
Yes, I see. I suppose it's only natural for someone responsible like you to have some reliable friends.
It's really nice to meet you, Madame d'Estray. Are you Fremine's employer? Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler.
Greetings, my new friends. Just call me Zuria. You are both so adorable. The sight of you reminds me of little fairies under a cottage roof.
Oh, do you really think so? It's really nice to meet you, Madame d'Estray. Are you Fremine's employer?
Of course. If my child had friends like you, then perhaps he wouldn't have become so obsessed with the tales of water imps. And I wouldn't have had to trouble Fremine here with this commission.
Obsessed with the tales of water imps?
Ah, so you don't know anything about my request yet? I would have thought Fremine had explained it to you already.
Well, Fremine told us that it was a private matter, so he didn't want to just share it willy-nilly.
I see. So Monsieur Fremine is even more discreet than I had thought. As you are assisting him with the project, I believe it'll be beneficial for you to learn more about its vision and history. But it would be quite impolite of me to simply pile all of my troubles on you without your permission. So, would you like to listen to my story?
Sure, Edward, you can tell us anything. You've already said nice things about us, so we'll try our best to help you get through your troubles.
Ah, what a lovely little fairy. Then let me think of a way to put my situation into words. I'm sure you're already familiar with the tale of the water imps, right? Simply put, parents came up with a story, painting water imps as scary abductors in an effort to convince their children to stay away from the water. My child is rather special, however. While most other children are terrified of Thelxie, he's infatuated with him.
Infatuated? With a water imp? What a brave soul.
Yes, he told me that he thought the water imp might have just been misunderstood. In his mind, instead of singing to abduct children, the water imp actually sang out of a longing for companionship. As a result, he often goes near the water in secret.
Huh. So he wanted to become friends with the water imp so it wouldn't be lonely any longer? What a unique way of thinking.
Thank you, little Paimon. He indeed has always stood out from the crowd. He was actually diagnosed with loneliness syndrome when he was only 8 years old. It's a type of mental disorder. Those affected by it often feel extremely lonely and lose interest in many mundane activities. The syndrome is probably what made him so determined to become friends with the water imp.
Oh no. Is it a very serious disorder?
If you were to become afflicted with the disorder, Paimon, you would only be able to say less than a fraction of the words you're saying to the traveler now.
No! Paimon won't accept that! We would have to find a doctor to help cure Paimon. Paimon has a 2,000-word quota for daily conversations with the traveler, and she won't settle for a single word less!
The family doctor has already begun to treat my son. But since the disorder is rare, there aren't many good regimens for treatment. He's also developed some new symptoms lately, such as uncontrollable delusions.
Huh? Uncontrollable what now?
Uncontrollable delusions. To put it simply, he can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality, and spends all his time in his fantasy world.
Then what is he seeing in his fantasy world?
It's a dream that he often mentioned to me when he was younger. I've compiled what I could understand of his recent rambling. It goes a bit like this.
He can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality, and spends all his time in his fantasy world.
Then what is he seeing in his fantasy world?
It's a dream that he often mentioned to me when he was younger. I've compiled what I could understand of his recent rambling. It goes a bit like this.
Amazing! Your son came up with all of this? He really crafted a lovely fairy tale world for Thelxie. It's like a beautiful dream.
But perhaps no beautiful dream can ever last long. You see, the story ended with a twist.
this. Is that kind of fantasizing what caused your son to develop his loneliness syndrome?
Well, it'd be more accurate to say that it was the syndrome that caused such terrible delusions to manifest. But in any case, the biggest problem is the patient eventually loses themselves to the fantasy world of their own creation.
My poor child can no longer differentiate between imagination and reality. He's begun to see himself as Thelxie.
Perhaps in his mind, the loneliness he felt became the same as that of a prince who lost everything he ever loved or stood for.
What? So that's what you meant by uncontrollable delusions. Then we have to help him snap out of it.
Alas, most of the time he acts as if he can no longer sense or interact with the real world at all. I've had several discussions with the doctor, and we think it is best to try to guide his fantasy. He once wanted to make a picture book of his imaginary world. But since the disorder progressed too quickly, he never quite got past the first page of the book. If we could use this book as a breakthrough for his condition... Here, you can take a look.
Ah! So Zuria's son also saw Thelxie as a penguin. Oh, he looks so sad.
What we should do now is help him complete this picture book. However, we'll lead the story to a different ending. One where the Water Imp Prince is eventually able to restore his kingdom with the help of his friends. We'll need to chase away his loneliness and sorrow, and let him perceive a world full of hope again. That's what I mean by guiding his fantasy.
But if we just need to finish the picture book, why does Fremine need to make a Thelxie as well?
Because we need to treat the book's story seriously, as if it's a history of things that have really happened. We'll need to go on a journey like Thelxie, and help him regain his crown and country. But my child can no longer go on a journey of his own. This is why I commissioned Fremine here to craft a Thelxie, and then I'll paint the journey with this Thelxie into the picture book.
Ah, like a stand-in for your son! Paimon's starting to get it now. Oh, you really put a lot of thought into this, Zuria. Paimon still has one question, though. Where will we be able to find a Water Imp Kingdom?
There are some ruins on the seabed of the Salacia Plains. I've already asked Fremine to research them for me. We'll be able to use one of the ruins as the kingdom.
Oh, so we'll just need to act out a performance of, a brave journey through the Kingdom of Water Imps. As long as we chase away the monsters in the ruins, it'll count as chasing away the monsters in the Water Imp Kingdom, right?
Sadly, no. We won't just be putting on a performance. It's just as Zuria said. We need to take this seriously. And the only way we can take this seriously is if we choose to believe everything that's happening is real.
So we'll be playing it straight? Or, making it a fully immersive experience? Oh, neither of those really sound right. Well, either way, we'll still be able to help, right?
It's all right. There's no need to get that serious. It's not a big deal. I believe in my son. We can just see this as him wanting to stay asleep for a bit longer, because he's so enamored with his dream.
Zuria.
Keep your spirits up, everyone. If we were to look troubled, my son is sure to become anxious as well. I should be heading back right about now to check on my son. We temporarily moved to a place on the hill over there, so my son will have a better spot to convalesce. It's not far from the water, and there's also a great view. Feel free to come find me if anything urgent comes up.
Understood. There's also one last thing. since these two friends were able to help me out, I've made some more progress on Thelxie. I estimate that he should be ready sometime tomorrow.
That's great news. I must thank you all. With that in mind, how about we meet here in 2 days' time to head to the Kingdom of Water Imps? All right, everyone. Let's meet again in another 2 days.
Zeria sure is a brave and optimistic lady. Fremine, do you think her plan will work out?
Let's discuss that over by the tent. There were a few things that I didn't bring up because the Madame was here.
Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much? Boring. Isn't there anything else more interesting to do? Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much? Boring. Isn't there anything else more interesting to do?
Nope, there's not.
What is it, Fremine? What did you want to say?
If you don't mind me asking, I would like the two of you to mentally prepare yourselves. This is the first time that you've met anyone with the syndrome, right? I know you two are both really strong and will do everything you can to help the child. But with the syndrome being the way it is, if things don't quite turn out as we wish, I hope you'll be able to accept the outcome and not put too much blame on yourselves.
Fremine, why do you bring this up all of a sudden? Didn't we just promise Zeria that we'll be optimistic about everything working out?
It's not that I'm not optimistic. It's just...
So that's why you looked like you knew exactly what she was talking about. Wait, Fremine, don't tell Paimon that you also...
No. Please don't misunderstand. I've never had it. I've just seen many cases of it at the House of the Hearth, back when we lived under the previous director. They say there are many factors surrounding the development of this illness. I've heard everything from hereditary factors and one's state of mind, to environmental factors, and even ley line disorder effects. Some even say it could be caused by contamination from god remains. And from the cases I've seen, there weren't many positive outcomes. In the worst cases, the patient could even... pass away.
What? It can get that serious? And here Paimon thought they'd just stop talking as much.
Yeah, that's just the nature of it. So if you'll find it difficult to cope with the worst case scenario, I would prefer that you back out right now. I don't want you to help only to feel like you failed.
Yeah, that's right. Paimon's seen all of those things too. No matter how hard it might get, we won't be scared.
I'm about to say, do you forgot Femine? We cried through
Then
the
in
frame
that
of
case, let's see this real-life fantasy adventure together to the end.
Yeah! But Paimon has a question. If this illness can really be as bad as you've described, then do you really think Zuria's method will be able to help? After all, we'll just be using a toy as Thelxie and some ruins as the Kingdom of Water Imps. The whole adventure will only be turned into a picture book for her son to read.
Well, I think it should be able to do something. To harbor a fantasy means that the child wants to save himself somehow. The only reason he's allowed his dream kingdom to fall is because he's lost control of his heart. But if we can help him regain control and escape from the darkness, we'll be able to change his world. Like helping someone who's lost their voice be able to speak again.
Oh, Paimon sees what you're saying now. Huh. How do you understand all of this so well, Fremine?
Well, maybe because I've also had many of my own dreams in the past. I even had my own fairy tale world, much like that boy's. I was able to draw a lot of support from it, so I believe in the power of fantasy worlds. So you remembered.
What Penguin Town? Why doesn't Paimon remember? Is that also a fairy tale world? Don't leave Paimon in the dark!
It's just one of my personal quirks. Please pay it no mind. Anyway, Penguin Town is a peaceful place with lots of penguin residents. They're all really good at making clockwork toys. And Pear is the town's triumphant hero, as well as the one who quietly protects the whole place.
Pear? But didn't you make Pear yourself?
Well, I often think that Pear only came to me because he realized how much I needed him. So it's not so much that I made Pear, as Pear chose me as his friend.
Fremine, are you sure you're not losing control of your fantasies as well?
No, I don't think so. I can still differentiate between fantasy and reality. I just believe that the fairy tale world of my dreams must also exist somewhere. It might just be hidden, which is why it's difficult to see. Or it will only reveal itself at very specific times.
Specific times? Like when you put on your diving helmet?
Yeah, that's the general idea of it.
Really? Paimon just said that because you put on your helmet.
Have you ever observed the surface world from underwater? It's as if you're viewing a whole different world from the outside. It's a very surreal feeling. Both alienating, but also as if you're being protected by something. I have a similar feeling when I put on my diving helmet. In those moments, it's possible to see some truly wondrous things, as if a fairy tale has become reality. It's almost like a sort of miracle.
Really? Like a miracle?
Well, if that's in order.
Hey, now's not the time! Remedy still has Celsius' weapon to make. We don't want to bother him now.
Right. I still have to collect some tools I'll need to craft the weapon. I've got to finish everything before tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me, Paimon. I'm sure there'll be other opportunities for you to try my helmet. Thanks for all of your help. I'll be off for now. Let's meet up here again in 2 days.
Ugh. I'm back. Oh, Lord. Oh, wait. I gotta wait. That's like, huh?
Being too popular can be such... Ad Astra Abyssosk. Welcome to the Adventurers Guild. Thank you for completing today's commission.
She is so freaking cute, adorable. I love her.
Extra fee for that. Now, think about it.
This realm is truly
Pretty.
If you ever have any questions...
Recommended me to try surfing, so I went and gave it a shot. Keeping balance. Someone recently recommended me to try surfing, so I went and gave it a shot. Keeping balance on the rolling waves was a little tricky at first, but I managed to get the hang of it pretty quickly. Maybe I'm just a natural surfer. Anyway, feeling the wind and waves up close and riding along the horizon was rather amazing. You should give it a try. Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you. Boring! Isn't there anything else more interesting to do?
Well, your Riz self got.
Of course, there's no way to ensure that you'll never slip up when performing magic tricks. The way I see it, the point is not to perform perfectly, but to stay calm at all times and adapt as needed. Even if some small flaws occur, you just need to make the audience believe that it's all part of the show, and you'll still deliver an entertaining and unforgettable performance.
Aww. Okay, Lenny, I got you.
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you.
After I learned that today was your birthday, there was a brief moment when I really wanted to take you to a locked room chock full of mechanisms and gifts where you could only get out by solving all the puzzles. It's actually really fun. You know, of course, I wouldn't do anything like that unless I was sure you'd actually enjoy it. Here, come with me. There's this beautiful scenic spot I've got to show you before the sun goes down.
I just don't feel comfortable around you, Chicken or Jose.
Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
Sorry, you're not getting my money, so you can forget it. I love you, but no.
People who suffer chronic illnesses are often mentally exhausted. And if their condition becomes critical, they may find themselves clinging to life with only a final thin thread of hope. At such a moment, healing their body is not the priority. The doctor should focus on bolstering their faith in themselves. After all, if the patient believes they aren't going to make it and gives up on themselves, then no medical treatment will be able to help them, no matter how sophisticated the treatment may be. The gods have somehow allowed a delusional person such as myself to explore the nature of life and death. This vision was just the thing I need, and I'm most thankful. It might sound ironic, but even I don't like taking bitter medicine. You're aware of my weak physical condition. I've been routinely taking medicine for some years now. All I can really do is eat some candied fruit afterward to get rid of the bitter aftertaste. I've met some people who jump to conclusions and believe they've contracted some deadly disease the moment they experience even the slightest discomfort. Reasoning with them is useless. Eventually, I came up with some tasteless pills made of sweet flour and Genshin and prescribed them to these patients. After they calmed down and their symptoms subsided, they praised the effectiveness of my secret medication. But I suppose I can't fault them for prioritizing their health. Yes, you've guessed correctly. The preservation of a thread of Chi-Chi's consciousness was, in fact, the work of the Adepti. It's also thanks to Chi-Chi that I managed to come up with a way to save someone on the brink of death. Since the Adepti took pity on this child and even used their arts to keep her on this side of existence, I thought I'd take the opportunity to keep her around the pharmacy. There's no harm in that, is there? We have some differences in ideology, that's all. I don't harbor any ill will toward Director Who. If anything, I think she's more wary of me. Those with the blood of the Adepti have strong constitutions. Even when she is ill or injured, she does not require any medicine to recover. She isn't like your average mortal, who would be left with long-term residual issues if they did not receive medical treatment after a serious injury. If I were to hazard a guess about her health from a face reading, I would presume the Yu-Hung's frequent looks of exhaustion are due to her long-time habits of burning the midnight oil and never giving her mind a rest. If she wishes to maintain her health, she should stop working and relax from time to time. Unfortunately, she is overly ambitious and seems to be completely willing to trade her health for her career. Even if I were to tell her this myself, I'm afraid she would not listen to me.
Well, damn.
Every time she comes to play with Chi-Chi, she complains about the taste of medicine and asks me if I have anything that isn't bitter. If the medicine will save someone's life, who cares how bitter it tastes, Ah, Zhongli. Yes, I can tell he is very knowledgeable. He can carry a conversation even when discussing niche topics like ancient medicine. He must also have some habits and practices for himself when it comes to healthy living. The common headache or fever should pose no problem for him, so he doesn't need a prescription from me. Only the most magnanimous soul could labor to preserve life by slaying evil spirits. I was once fortunate enough to see the conqueror of demons with my own eyes. We even brought him back to the pharmacy to take care of him for a day. Unfortunately, I did not know his true identity at the time. and didn't even have a chance to speak with him before he left on his own.
But you've seen him since then, haven't you? There's no reason to be upset.
Yes, you're right.
Tighnari.
Ah, so you have an acquaintance from the Sumeru Academia. In that case, could I trouble you to introduce me to this Tighnari? I have many questions about herbal medicine that I would like to ask him. The oath wasn't complicated. I still remember some of it. When a person comes seeking medical attention, I will not consider his status, nor will I be suspicious of or worry about any subsequent consequences. I shall strive to witness the patient's distress and feel it as if it were my own, for this is the hallmark of a great physician.
Aesthetic isn't the #1 priority in my work, and nor should it be. Quality and safety are paramount. But I never neglect the artistic side either. That's what sets my work apart from others. I almost don't want to say this out loud, but sometimes hopes and dreams bring suffering instead of happiness. Luckily, I don't mind my vision. The uninitiated often assume that the expertise of Ksharawar architects starts with clay and ends with lumber. It's such an ignorant perspective that it's not even worth arguing against. If all it took to build a house was to smoosh a few random materials together, there'd be no need for this discipline in the first place. As well as being one of the building blocks of human culture and civilization, architecture is also an art form. Art does not exist in a vacuum, so I've always been mindful of the experiential factor for the occupants, and the emotional character conveyed to those looking on from the outside. Oh, and I'm always looking for better ways to integrate artistic expression and practical functionality. Lesser Lord Kusanali is a wise and capable god. Not only is she extremely knowledgeable, she also possesses virtue far beyond mortal comprehension. I have only the utmost respect for her tolerance of others, especially in a nation of learning like Sumeru. That takes great equanimity. Sometimes, though, I do stop to wonder, surely even the gods must have their struggles too. Oftentimes, confusion is the beginning of wisdom, in which case, how can we ever achieve true happiness? I guarantee you'll never meet anyone else who's as infuriating as him. And for the record, yes, I would say that to his face. Sure, he's smart, and sure, geniuses often come with a bad temper. But that's only half the story with him. He knows perfectly well how to appear friendly and likable to others, he just doesn't want to. If he ever gives you the impression that he doesn't really have a temper, or that he's rigidly logical like a machine, then you just don't know him well enough yet. He definitely has a personality. It's just too big a personality. Most people wouldn't get it. Alhaitham helped me out a fair amount recently. If we were still as close as we were during our student days, then I'd be thanking him every chance I got. Now, though, I can't seem to get a word of appreciation out of my mouth. Even if I could, I wouldn't want to give him the satisfaction. I guess you could say our relationship is something of a mixed bag these days. Honestly, with everything that's happened, it almost feels like the universe has been playing pranks on us. It's hard to make sense of it all. Too much to process for one lifetime. I will say that it's not every day that you get to know someone like him. I just wish he could rein in some of the worst excesses of his personality. Okay, yeah, that's never gonna happen. Ah, Tighnari. He's one of the nicest guys you could know. If you've met him, you'll know what I mean. He's kind, and he has enormous expertise in his field, but he never brags about it in front of other people. And he seems to genuinely care about his work. Back when I was building the Palace of Alcazarzare, I asked him for some tips on how to pick out the right ornamental plants. After he wrote back to me, he also helped me out with some other issues too. Oh, and I almost forgot. He was the one who first introduced me to Sino. Dory is the owner of the Palace of Alcazarzaray. Excuse me? Mine? Oh, no, don't be ridiculous. I know full well that it doesn't belong to me. I know, but... please, let's not go there. Dory is a shrewd one. She knows how to coerce others into doing things for her. For various reasons, I now owe her a large sum of money. It all got quite complicated in the end, but... anyway, I wish she'd show me a little mercy and stop making my life a misery for the sake of Mora. I swear, she doesn't seem like a bad person at heart, so... I just don't understand. How did she turn out like this? Sino can come across as cold and ruthless, but he's actually a very big-hearted guy. I still remember how shocked I was when Tighnari said he was going to introduce me to his best friend, and then a couple of seconds later, an incredibly intimidating Matra comes walking through the door. I honestly never expected to meet a Matra who's so comfortable hanging out with scholars. Gotta say, though, I can't stand his sense of humor. It really makes my skin crawl. If he ever invites you to a meal at Tighnari's place, make sure someone's bringing beer, because no one should have to endure Sino's humor while sober. I've met Kale quite a few times now. As Tighnari's student and assistant, she follows him everywhere. With her diligence and patience, she's much more responsible than most other kids her age. But, I can also tell that she's got a lot going on inside. Nilou's talent as a dancer is indisputable. Zubair Theater really lucked out when they recruited her. I've heard that she has a great personality, too. She always smiles and says encouraging things to her audience when she's performing. Once I can find some time, I'll have to catch one of her shows. Madame Farouzan doesn't mince her words, so I can understand why some students at the Academia are afraid of her. She doesn't have any bad intentions, though. All she wants is to devote herself completely to the research that interests her. Some people say that all Haravatat scholars are hard to get along with, and, I'll let you be the judge of that. I assume she's already asked you to be her student? She sure is a little intense when she's doing the hard sell, huh? But she can walk the walk, too. She really does know her stuff. While everyone's aesthetic preferences differ to a point, beauty is, on the whole, a pretty concrete concept. I do think it's possible to establish some basic objective aesthetic standards. It's possible to improve your aesthetic appreciation, too, although it takes a lot of time to get the experience. If you ever need any advice on that front, by the way, you're always welcome to come to me. Is it your birthday today? Well, congratulations! Birthdays are important days, and it's also one of those days in the year that gets you thinking about your family. However you spend today, I hope it makes you happy.
Boring! Isn't there anything else more interesting to do? popular, it can be... would adore me so much.
Relax.
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered.
Turkey.
If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you.
Oh. Wow.
Boring! Isn't there...
Everything must take its due course. No need to be impatient.
Thank you.
You suck.
Wait. Huh? No. Whatever.
I'd be happy to teach you.
My perception has been heightened.
Even though I'm still miles behind you, I'm feeling a little more confident now.
Okay. Okay. Hey.
5th off on payday.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So, pretty cool. Go back to work until Tuesday.
Oh, so you go back to work Tuesday. I go back. I got the 5th off. That's funny.
Yeah, excuse me. Oh god, that. I need to get the fuck off of Sheen.
I just realized I cannot buy him a birthday car. Oh well.
We'll get it afterwards.
I know. Yeah, I go afterwards.
You know, people do what get that man. Because of these. These gonna look kind of cool. One pair of black sports gloves for autumn and winter. Oh. Yeah, excuse me.
That is funny. Yeah, that Rachel is something else. I said, yeah, the wind chill is something else. It's like it's just the wind chill, nothing else. So far, they put out one person. I think I heard that name before, but I don't know. I gotta look it up and see. His name is Charlo Scott. CHARLIE Ox COX. Gotta look it up. Floor, you little pervert. My little figurine. Or you're in floor. And floor like leaning backwards. And everything look like you little pervert. I didn't tell him to lean back like that. Let's see, he playing Hawk. Oh, She-Hulk. Down Alabama. Boardwalk Empire. Marvelous Devil. Daredevil. Daredevil Born Again. Derby. Prince. The Theory of Everything. Marvel's The Gift. King. voice actor, no duh. Now we gotta wait for round 2. Who else will be coming? Oh, my cosplay is in. But the fun part, I gotta find the thingamajig that I bought inside the game room. I mean, the player room. And things so I can unsnatch a freaking part of the outfit. Like, how in the heck can I put a freaking bunny tail on it when it's sealed? Yeah, I definitely gotta find some other straps. The clear strap would not do. I didn't do nothing.
No, I hit this person on the game while I'm talking to you. I try not to go to sleep talking to you, so I decided to play a game.
They're like, I didn't do nothing. I'm innocent.
Dang. And I don't think you're innocent.
I know sometimes I be doing that at work, but I'm innocent. Don't put me in your mess. Do not put me inside no loop. Don't, no. I'm innocent. Don't drag me to nothing. But like, I like Dorita nothing. Dorita not here. boss it up in the bin, and I had to let the pallet. He just straight to look at me, and he just like, really? Why you just bring the pallet? Why you being so stubborn? Like, I'm treating you like I treat the other ones. And they said exactly the same thing. Why am I being so stubborn? Because I am stubborn.
I don't know what you're talking about. Just keep on doing.
I did. I just looked at it. I like, nah. I'm just picking the box and just kept going. You're like, you. Like, man up.
Feel like you mad? Get over it. Get over it.
They're like, I'm not going far. The pallet's over there, and I'm right here. I'm just going inside the middle section and throwing it inside the bin. I can walk back and forth. I'm trying to kill time. So I don't know what I do in the other pallets. Shoot. Yeah, I gotta get some booby tapes.
That booby tape at your stupid job. Your boobs not that big. Here's the booby tape you got at your job.
I just said I need to get some booby tape as well. Okay. Okie dokie. You know.
My darling, take a breath. What's got you light in the head? Starting to break a sweat. Guessing from all the praise you get. Her body's my religion. The bedroom is a prison. She know how to talk, but she really never listen. Why do you imagine when the lights go down? When you're all alone, do you make those sounds? 'Cause baby, when you're with me, we don't see the sun. I'm like a vampire now, gotta lust for blood. Your scent is still on my tongue. Neither taste of your blood, I promise. I'll do you no harm. I wanna taste of your life. I wanna take a bite. Don't
antique's value is in the eye of the beholder.
Can we play Banger next time?
Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
Quietly now. Busted. Take it easy. Here comes the catch. Gotcha. Quietly now. Gotcha. Busted. Game's up. Fun is over. Gotcha. Take it easy. Busted. Here comes the catch. Gotcha. Quietly now. Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.